Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Inside Lion Athletics. Almost didn't know where we were, Coach. We had spring break. Did you have spring break?
No spring break.
I didn't have spring break either. But, hey, it's good to see everybody back on campus and teams out and about. Lion women softball team just up in Norman, Oklahoma last night to take on the four-time defending national champs. Well, they won. But, Coach, your team didn't look bad out there. You're coming off of a rough go down in Hammond. You come home and you sweep A&M Corpus Christi. Great set. And then you take all that energy and vibe and go up to Norman and run into a buzzsaw. But you got right off of that, and it's back into conference play this weekend with Lamar.
Oh, yeah, we're excited. Lamar is going to be a good set for us. We're excited to get out there and, stick to our process, stick to our game plan. And go out there and see what we got.
Could you have asked for any kind of a better result of the series with the Islanders after that Hammond trip?
No, I think it was good for us to be able to play the champions from the year before in that first set for conference. And then going in and playing Corpus was good for us. We were excited. They are buying into what we're trying to do. I think we've seen the benefits of what we've been doing, and so it was a really good series for us. Julia threw really well for us, so did Maddie. Our offense came alive, and Tatum had a really good weekend. So we're excited. We're excited what Lamar is going to bring and go down there and see what we got.
9-1, the score of the first two games against A&M Corpus. And then on Saturday, and a little bit more of a nail-biter, the Islanders were actually ahead there for a bit, and you had to play catch-up before winning there, walking out and getting the brooms. You talk about those little things y'all been doing in the process. What are some of the things that showed themselves in that three-game set?
Well, the first two games, we were able to come back in the fifth inning and, put some runs up to kind of close it out. And so for them to be able to see that when everything is working in the same direction, good things are going to happen. And it doesn't matter whether it's the first inning or the fifth inning or the seventh inning. We got work to do, and we can continue to do work. So we really worked on our pitch selection the last couple weeks and, just honing in with our pitchers and just attacking the zone and really just make them swing and get out. Like, let our defense play defense. And so, we were able to see that in all forms this last weekend.
Tell everybody how the pitch selection works out for you. Everybody's got a new watch.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different for the pitcher, and we'll be able to talk to Julia a little bit about that when she comes on too, from her perspective. But you're in there talking with whom about pitch selection for each batter.
So
you got your scouting report.
Yeah, defensively, and pitching-wise, we have the watches that they're able to get the pitch call in, so we're not having to give signs and everything else, cards for them. The pitchers get it a little bit different from our catcher, but we're going off those scouting reports. We're going off of, the video that we've been watching, and then what our pitchers have that day. So sometimes the game plan might change based on, who's throwing or what's working that day. We're going to attack with our best. So then offensively, our pitch selection, we were kind of outside the zone a little bit early on, and we really honed in and hitting our pitch, swinging our best pitches until we got 2 strikes, and then we'll attack after that. But they really just bought into what we're trying to do, and they're trusting it, and so we're going to keep rolling with it.
And, gosh, when you get success, you had 4 runs in that very first inning of Game 1 against the Islanders. It just kind of opens the gates for everybody.
Oh, yeah, and it helps the pitcher and, our defense settle in a little bit, too, because, they're just not up there free swinging because, they're comfortable. We keep them uncomfortable, and we keep applying pressure, and we'll be good to go.
You didn't get too much in the hit column against the Sooners. That's okay. But some of your plays, they hit the ball well in that. And on the other side, the way the defense was playing, they made some big catches out in the outfield, and they were able to make them because they were in the right place.
Oh, yeah. Our outfield's been a strong suit all year, and so they're going to continue to do what they need to do to catch the ball in the outfield and, help our pitchers. And offensively, Aaliyah had a shot last night that the wind's not going. It's probably over.
Mm-hmm.
Emma hit the ball well. Tatum hit the ball hard. So we just got to keep swinging the bat, keep hitting the ball, keep hitting our pitches.
Okay, so coming up this weekend, Lamar, talk about the Cardinals down in Beaumont. What kind of team do they have? It's somebody that falls in between Southeastern and everybody else.
Yeah, they're going to be scrappy. They got some power. They got a couple of fast kids. Their pitching, has been around the zone and effective. But if we stick to our game plan and deal with what we need to do, we'll be all right.
What are the ways that you can get another team out of their comfort zone?
I think a couple of things. Our pitchers keep their pace. Don't allow the hitters to kind of dictate the pace, but keep our defense, setting that pace. And then offensively coming out and, not allowing them to get 0-2, 1-2 counts and come out there and actually attacking the pitches that, are either missed or they're throwing into our strengths. And if we keep applying the pressure, bunting, stealing, running, whatever, we keep applying that pressure, they're never comfortable. And so we got to continue to do that.
Well, you had a real bunt attack going over in one extended at bat against the Islanders, just laying one after another. They just couldn't come in or wouldn't come in and be ready for it.
Oh, yeah. We've really focused on bunting. And so, even Stephanie being able to come in and bunt, she actually got 2 bunt for hits. Not one of our faster kids and one of the more power, but she did a good job. So we're going to continue to do what we need to do in order to apply that pressure.
All right, somebody that's got a little more speed but not as much pop. Emmy Meehee, how about that one that left the yard? Over the right field fence, and it was a laser.
Oh, yeah. She's been working. She works hard. She's constantly, she got the energy. She's got the swag. And so for her to be able to do that for the first time, she was excited.
All right, good stuff. Hey, you brought up a really cool point, talking about getting batters off their timing. Wouldn't have even thought about this, but they have the pitch clock up on the scoreboard in Norman. How's that? That's how you can control the pace, right? That's where the pitcher can speed them up.
Yeah, it's different when it's visible. For conference, we don't have a lot of places that it's visible, so we rely on the umpire a lot of time. And I think the last week it was a little long, but we'll see.
Do they have signs that they give for when you're getting down to the countdown, like the last 5 seconds? Or
no, they don't really give any signs, and then it buzzes, and sometimes they hear it, sometimes they don't.
They need a louder buzzer.
They do.
That's apparently all that will solve that. All right. Coach, I know it's a battle. You got ready to get on the bus to go head down to Beaumont. It was a quick bounce to get back home from last night.
Yes, it was.
But you got to be eager.
Oh, yeah, we're excited. We're ready to get on the bus.
All right, we're going to let them get on the bus. Thanks, everybody. Stick tight. We're going to be back with more Inside Lion Athletics. Don't go away. Hey, everybody, we're back with some more of Inside Lion Athletics. We are joined now by the Southland Conference Pitcher of the Week, Julia Sanchez. Congratulations on that. 2 wins in the 3-game set against A&M Corpus, and everything went the Lions' way. That had to be so much fun in the locker room after those.
Thank you. And yes, it was. It was a blast. I love coming back to the locker room with the girls and just celebrating our team win. It was so much fun.
Tell a little bit about that game, how you got into your rhythm, that you weren't giving up hardly anything to them. They got 1 run barely. And you get 9 runs of support. That's got to relax you in the circle some. That
does. That's huge. The 9 runs were like a safety blanket for any pitcher that gets on the mound. It's knowing that even if you do make a little error, it's okay. Defense is going to get you. Offense is going to get you. Personally, I don't like to talk when I'm in the zone. I get in the zone, I lock in, and my teammates already know, oh, she's ready. So I don't like to talk a whole bunch before the game.
That's okay. No, big pitchers like to do that. I've had a number of them, even in the minor leagues. We had a big playoff game one time in Tyler, and our relief pitcher was just, get out of my way. Don't I want to talk to anybody. Nobody. Just stay out of my way.
I'm not that mean.
Well, he wasn't being mean, but he fooled himself a little bit because he walked about 8 guys.
Oh.
And that was the end of the season. But he didn't walk that many. But, you've got to have that. And you've got to have a good relationship with your catcher, too.
Yes.
So Aaliyah's back there most of the time when you're throwing. Talk about how you two work together. How do you stay simpatico?
Aaliyah's great. Before every warm-up, before every inning, we just stay in communication. How are the hitters looking? How are my pitches looking? What's the umpire calling? What's making sure any little disagreement or any effect we get to the bottom of it. Communication is huge for me and her, and just making sure we're always on the same page.
Some of those times when you get together and visit in between a pitcher or a batter, is she coming to tell you something she's noticed about a hitter in the box?
Not really. It's mainly the conversation we have is mainly, do you keep doing you? She's kind of supporting me, making sure that I'm not getting into my head or I'm not letting the umpire or the hitters affect me, that it's just between me and her and pitch by pitch.
Inning by inning.
Yeah, that's right.
So as far as your preparation for a game and the hitters you're going to face, how's that work out for you? All just watching film and going back and forth and making notes, or?
Yes, usually during the week we'll go over some film between all the pitchers, and between all 5 of us, 6 of us, we'll collect any information or anything we notice with the hitters. But honestly, we treat every game, every team like it's brand new. Nothing special, just, again, inning by inning, pitch by pitch, game by game.
So is there ever a time when somebody steps up into the box and they're digging? Well, it's kind of hard to dig into carpet, but you know what I mean. They get ready and you see something and you just like, game over. I got this one. They're not touching my stuff.
That's how I approach every batter. It's good to just have that dominant mentality and making sure that I'm going to win every pitch. Even if you get a little piece of it, I'm going to win at the end of the day. And I know my defense is going to have my back regardless.
How about your communications with them? I know that feeling because when somebody makes a big play behind you at first, it's like, oh, she hit it hard, but right at her.
Oh, it's electric on the field whenever that happens. I mean, anytime a hitter gets a hit of the ball, I quick look around, see where my defense is, and knowing, especially my outfield, they've had my back through every single game, knowing that they're going to get to the ball or at least catch up to it and make a great throw. So I know that communication between all of us, we're all talking during the field, making sure we know what out we're at, where the next play is. Just that's huge for us. So
pitcher infield drills, is that like your favorite part of the game?
Somewhat.
Yeah, well, if 8 people are going to back you up, you got to be able to back your position up too, right?
Always.
Who runs those drills? Who does that?
I think Coach Bustos. Coach Bustos will usually have us practicing those in her squad.
Have you ever seen anybody that could hit fungo like she does?
I don't think so.
Any of your coaches?
Well, I think she wins it.
Yeah?
I think she wins it. Her and Coach Reeves both have a pretty good little fungo we have going on.
All right. So, have you tried to throw one by Coach Bustos?
I like to say every now and then I get her on a good changeup.
I can't wait to see her. That's what it takes. You got to fool them sometimes. Right. She's a dead fastball hitter, though.
She is.
And it'll go a long way.
Oh, it will. We've seen it.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the transition from all your pre-conference. The season this year, it was rough. Y'all were playing up still. But your team's better, clearly. And you have to go up against Southeastern right away. But the flip from coming home from that to, go down 3, up 3, talk about that a little bit. Tell everybody how it's going.
Playing Southeastern, they were the conference champions, made it to the tournament and everything. I think we're just maybe in our heads a little bit. We are a fresh team, a new team, and I guess still getting along with each other and knowing how to connect as a team was huge. We fell a little short that weekend, but we all connected as a team again, got on the same page, make sure we all had the same understanding and got to it, and it showed on the field.
did. And with that series behind you, it kind of opens up. Everything else is just like whatever you guys can make of it.
It does. We, anytime there's a little error, we do fall short. We take it with a grain of salt and move forward. There's nothing else you could do.
It's like Coach was talking about before she gave away. She thinks like a pitcher. It's just, I'm pitching now, and now when's next time?
Yes.
Don't worry about what happened.
That's what I even try to tell the team too. If something happens, shake it off. You can't relive the past. Move forward.
All right. So we're going to relive a little bit of the past, because this week when you got the Pitcher of the Week award is not the first time. You got one 2 years ago when you were just a little bitty sophomore. And that was for throwing a no-no.
Yep. That was that was exciting. Throwing my first, that was my first no-hitter.
Even in high school? No no-hitters then?
No, I've had a couple in high school, but I mean in a collegiate level, at D1, it was huge. It was so exciting, and I just wanted to get that feeling again.
How'd you get the last out?
Oh, I don't even remember.
Was it a punch out? Was it a roller? Was it
Probably a punch out. I think it was a punch out.
That's a fun way to go. All right, so Lamar coming up. I expect you'll be in the circle for one or two or three of those.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any remembrance of? I mean, you've already been on the scouting report some. So, what do you see out of them?
Same thing. Kind of scrappy hitters. Making sure we put the ball off the plate and taking it pitch by pitch. They're just another regular team we're about to play.
All right. Hey, it's great to have you join us.
Thank you.
Congratulations again. We're so not worthy, but we're glad to have you. And good luck down in Beaumont, and we'll see you when you get back.
Thank you so much.
All right, Julia Sanchez, Player of the Week, Pitcher of the Week. I couldn't find the strike zone. We'll be back with more Inside Line Athletics in a minute. Hey, we're back, everybody, with some more of Inside Line Athletics. We're going hybrid this time. We've got our men's and women's golf coach, Brian Dolehide, on the Zoom with us. Coach, you're busy. Had the guys down in McAllen. The women opened up in Houston. And then this last weekend, the women were down in Gulf Shores, Alabama. It's a busy kind of golfing season.
That's right. Yeah, we've had some great weather out there, too. Just a bit of high winds.
It's good when it's a tailing wind, though, right?
That's right. It never seems to be that way on the golf course, though.
No, you're hacking right into it and learn how to play that Texas wedge, the 7-iron. Coach, how'd the guys do? Let's go ahead and do these in order. Start with the guys, since there was only the one tournament down in McAllen. But how'd that go?
McAllen went well. So that was actually a match play event, which is the first match play event we've had at East Texas since my time being here. And that was really great. There were 8 teams down at UTRGV. And first match, we got paired against Incarnate Word. We were the 6 seed. I believe they were the 3 seed. And we took them down. I believe the final score was 3.5 to 1.5. Our guys played great. And especially down the stretch, they all came in pretty clutch. So that was great. We moved into the semifinals after that. And we went on to play UTRGV. And that one also came down to the last couple of holes, and they barely clipped us right on the last few holes. So yeah, that was a great match, and unfortunately we didn't come away with the win on that one, but I believe we lost that one 2-3. And then our final match for the 3rd and 4th place finish, we played against Southeastern Louisiana, and we ended up bringing home a win on that one against 4 seed. So I was pretty pleased with how we played out there. Our guys, we struggled a bit early in the spring, and it was nice to finish off our long stretch before getting into our last couple of tournaments with a positive note.
So now they get to work on their short game, getting ready for the big tournament later in April, right?
That's right.
Is-
A lot of putting going on these next few weeks. That's for sure.
Good deal. Anybody have like some standout rounds in those tourneys?
Yeah, I mean, I would say Matt Walters. He hasn't had the best couple of tournaments to start off the spring, and he won every single match at this past event. So he really came back to the player that we all know he is, and it's really good to build that confidence coming down the stretch here.
How many of those guys had even played in match play and ever competed in that?
It's very rare to play in a match play event, so it's always fun when you have that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different kind of game because you're going 1v1 instead of one versus the rest of the field, which is typically about 180 to 100 players. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a lot of fun. It's extremely competitive, as every tournament is, but it's just a different feeling, and our guys handled it really well.
Excellent. So are the women going to get the chance to be in a match tournament like that in their season?
Not this year, no. It's pretty rare, like I was saying, and no, we don't have any match play events on the schedule for the women.
Okay. Well, it's good to have it, period. The women opened at Houston and then to Gulf Shores, Alabama. How'd they do?
Yeah, kind of similar to the guys. We started off a bit slow in Houston. I wasn't out there. I was out in McAllen with the guys, but
Mm-hmm.
same thing down in Gulf Shores. There were definitely some great glimpses of golf. I just think we've been struggling a bit with these high winds and keeping our ball flight a little bit lower. And then definitely on the greens, we're going to need to put in some work. So both teams have had similar struggles throughout this spring season, and I'm hoping that we're able to kind of follow the guys' footsteps and pick up some progress here down the stretch.
Coach, over the course of the seasons, getting to play here in the wind a lot, that's probably helpful on down the line, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we weren't able to, show it the last couple of weeks, but keeping your ball flight low and being able to handle, the tough conditions is extremely important, obviously, especially in the spring in Texas.
Well, fighting the wind, if I couldn't just putt all the way around, I think I'd just sit in the golf cart, because one time we played out in Baird out near Abilene, and it just drove me nuts. The wind did. Couldn't hit into it, couldn't hit around it.
Hey, that makes two of us here.
Yeah, it's just golf,
Right.
All right. So what's
that's
coming
why
up?
I'm coaching.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, so what's up next for the women? This is their busy time, right?
Right. So we're practicing this weekend and all of next week, and then we'll head out to Louisiana Monroe, which we played that event last year, and we have a good idea of that golf course, and then right after that, actually, we play out at SMU, which is at Trinity Forest. So it's a local tournament. Yeah, we'd love to have some fans out there, out in Dallas. So that we're really looking forward to that one.
Trinity Forest, is that a public course or is that a club?
It's a private golf club just south of Dallas.
Right. I grew up on Tennyson, just about. My golf game never matured, but most of the public courses, Sherrill Park even, and a couple of them over in Oak Cliff. Got to play a lot of it growing up. Yeah. Okay.
A lot of courses in the area.
All right, Coach. Well, you got the greatest job in all of college athletics. You get to go to a country club to recruit players. So,
I'd have to agree with you.
There you go. All right, man. Well, listen, safe travels. Bring them all back home safe, and we'll see you when you get here too.
That's the plan. Great to be here. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Brian. All right, friends, we're going to take another break. And hey, everybody, welcome back to more of Inside Lion Athletics. Charlie Chitwood here. I've got Jim Curry. He's a busy man on campus, the athletic director is. And since we didn't get to do this last week, Jim, your homework's been doubled. We've got so much more to talk about, like you needed anything else to do.
Well, we couldn't have done it in here last week because the power was off last week during spring break, so that we could move over the power supply to feed the new video boards in the field house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Video boards.
Video boards in the field. Someone probably just stopped in their tracks when they heard
new
video boards in the field house. But there are actual video elements in the field house that are being installed as we speak.
So if I see this correctly, there's a jumbo video board that's going to hang from the rafters of the field house in each corner.
And then
ribbons over the top of the bleachers?
Correct. Yes.
What do we need a new arena for? Holy
Someone
cow,
will probably say that.
Yeah. Holy cow, that's going to be awesome.
No, it's good. It's good. It's actually been a project that's been in the works for a while, and we've had all the materials actually for about 2 years now, but we kind of had to go back to the drawing board, literally almost, from the standpoint of both power and structural. So. We initially started the project. There's not a lot of good records on a 75-year-old building.
True that.
And so we've been very careful about that part of the process. And then we also realized we had to upgrade some of the power supply to feed those boards.
Those two-prong outlets aren't going to handle most modern electronics, are they?
Yeah. So actually, a lot of people probably didn't realize this, but going back for a few months, all the way back to actually like last summer, has been work on the power supply and some of the utility on this side of campus that will help support that, among a few other things as well. So we've got all the infrastructure in place, and we have the panels, and we just needed to have the right conditions on the availability of the building. And so with it being spring break last week, we could turn the power off for 4 days.
Timing's everything.
Transition all the power over, and then get people ready to go to install.
Wow.
There we are.
That is something, seeing that stuff hanging in there right now.
It's in there now.
When's it going to be done? When do they think they'll be finished?
So they're hoping to be done by the middle of next month. And honestly, there's a hope that we're going to be able to try to fire those things up for graduation.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So fingers crossed, got a little work to do still, but that's at least what we're shooting for.
Okay. Yep. Well, one thing that shouldn't be a problem is coming up with any scratch that you need to get those things put up, because you had a pretty good giving day last week.
We did, yeah. Thanks for mentioning that. And again, I guess we've taken a week off, and it's been so busy that that was only a couple weeks ago. But no, an incredible response from folks on Giving Day. So very appreciative of that. Very grateful.
The baseline was we had 100 donors the previous year, and we raised $100,000.
Correct.
Is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
And we were shooting for 200 donors and $200K. We ended up getting to 298 on the donor count, which is outstanding. And so, one of the things that we've really tried to focus on is really just bringing more people into the fold and growing that engagement. And so we actually have now gotten to a point where the number of unique donors that we've got for this year has surpassed last year's total, and for the whole year, and we still got 5 more months left in our reporting year. Mm-hmm. But also is another high for us for Lion Athletics. And so again, just incredibly grateful for the support, for the response, for people getting involved and engaged with what we're doing here, and hopefully they're seeing great energy, but also great impact in terms of what they're doing. And I think as we see projects like this, or what we're doing from a reclass perspective, the investment in scholarship, trying to position kind of the next and ready for the next phase of college athletics. These are all things that wouldn't be possible without the support that we get from donors. And so ended up with 171 roughly in the total. Had some great supporters and matches involved there as well. There's actually there's a couple that when we talked about it last time with some of the former alums that had gotten back into the fold here, but there was someone actually I left off in that discussion. That's Dixie Turman here locally. She's a great supporter for us. Yeah. So she came in with a challenge match for some folks, and that's part of that process too. But it continues to be a great supporter for us. So yeah.
Let me ask you on those challenge grants, because I'm not sure that I understood it wholly going in when I was looking at the options. But everybody that offered, if we get X number of people to give up to $50,000 for this particular thing, like for golf.
Yep.
If we get people that'll give $50,000 for golf, we'll match the 50.
Correct. Yeah, that's exactly it. They'll match it, or they'll unlock the dollars, or something to that effect. So.
That's something that I think maybe people could really get into the more they know about that kind of ability, because, an old baseball or an old softball player or an old basketball player or an old golfer, they might want to, take care of my guys, or my girls, one way or the other.
Well, we saw that in football. So Will Carrington had a challenge gift that he made of $10,000 to try to get to 100 donors in football. And we hit that number. We got over to about a 110, I think was the number in football. But, Will was a huge catalyst for that to occur. And really what we were able to do is kind of help position that conversation. And he really wanted to, kind of spur new donors into athletics and into football. And so he was, and we were able to position that to encourage people to get involved, to unlock those dollars. And we were able to do it through the support that Will provided us specifically for football. But yeah, I mean, and then we ended up, I think we went back and looked, and I think it was 137 new donors that had never given to athletics before through Giving Day. So
good work.
So 298 total. Like I said, 137, 135 new donors, something like that. And then now, again, just overall for the year, the number of unique donors to athletics, hitting a high water mark there as well.
So the average gift, it was like 178 plus or minus was the total on 200 and some on. It was like $500. Everybody averaged $500 donation.
Yep.
Except for the ones that said, if you give $250, I'll give the other $250. But you bring your friends.
Bring all your friends. That's right. And then we had a good number of bobblehead incentive.
Oh man,
for the $100.
They're all gone, aren't they?
We didn't get all that we had allocated around 200 for Giving Day. We didn't get to 200, but we got in there pretty good. I think we got around a 150 roughly off the top of my head. I'm give or take a little bit, but we were well over 100. And I think we were kind of sitting there splitting the difference there right around 150.
Hey, I got mine in last week. I mean, nobody was sleeping on any of this. And the thing that I like best is Lucky came out and he had the little collar to keep his bobblehead from bobbling.
That's
too
right.
much.
Yeah, we had to make sure to protect the bobblehead in the mail.
It was like, hey, that's like the Blake Cooper neck roll thing from his old football days.
That's great.
Yeah, did you wear those? Did you wear anything like that?
I had to. So I had to wear a cowboy collar in college because I got a really bad stinger.
Okay.
So I normally did not.
So your neck never bent backwards in a football game.
It did. It did on one play where, I was going out to block a guy on the edge, and he decided he didn't like it. He was a cornerback and getting hit by a fullback, and he decided after about the sixth time that he didn't really enjoy that so much. So he kind of stepped to the side and gave me a little bit of the shoulder to the head, and it just popped my neck back, and I got a pretty good little burner down my arm. I mean, it happens. I recovered. It was all right, but I had to wear the cowboy collar to protect.
Did you get to play him again? That one guy? Did you see him again in a game?
Gosh.
Did you get to pay him back?
I'm trying to remember. It was Juniata College, so right outside of Harrisburg.
Yeah. Good Catholic boys.
I don't know what year he was. I know we played them again, but I don't know what year. I can't remember.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
Now, you tend to remember some of those.
You
things.
do, yeah.
All right, so we got Giving Day. It was smash up, hoops upgrades, smash up. I want to save the best for last. Softball was pretty good, so they almost got to go last. How about the sweep at home with the Islanders?
Yeah.
And
That's the thing. Like, so happy for them. Again, you see the work, right, and you see everything going into it, and you always want it to kind of translate for them, and it really kind of came together, and you knew it. You could see it in there, but again, sometimes you just need that proof of concept too, right? And it can really get them going. And I mean, it was a very impressive weekend. I mean, that first day, we smashed them.
Yeah.
I mean, we smashed them.
2 9-1 decisions, yeah.
Correct. And to get some run rule wins there, and then come around the next day. And again, I was very curious to see about Saturday. And I told Brittany this too after the game. I said I was more curious about Saturday than anything else because, okay, we just get our first series win in conference, in Southland Conference. We're feeling real good about ourselves after. Now you got to come back the next day and do it again at noon.
And keep it up.
And keep it going, right? And so we come out, and we were really – and I was thinking we were going to win that game because we were really crisp in the warm-up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, this is going to be a good day. And so they get out to a little lead. Again, we weren't playing bad. They were playing very well. They came back with a great response as well. Corpus did. And then we just kept battling, and we came back from behind, and then we put ourselves and we gave ourselves a little bit more insurance. We stayed in the game, and so I was just really happy with the way that we responded to the win and the success that we had on Friday, because sometimes you get lulled into that complacency, and you feel really good about yourself, and then you dip, and they maintain that high level of play, and I even yesterday at Oklahoma, I think we carried ourselves well. I mean, they're still the 4-time defending national champs,
Yes,
number one in the
are.
country. But when you kind of break it down a little bit too, there were some nice plays in the field. There was some really nice at bats. There was probably a ball, if the wind wasn't blowing a million miles an hour, that would have been out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some really good things that you saw there too. That now we got to go on the road, right, in conference, and see what we can do there. So on a quick turn, and so I'm excited to see what we've got this weekend. But I'm so excited for them and the girls because you could just see the joy for all the work that they've been putting in.
A little bit of it is playing up, and we do so much of that during the transition that it's like those are practice targets, and they're farther away.
Yeah.
And then when you finally get to conference, and not the absolute best team in the conference, but everybody in the conference, and all of a sudden those targets are a lot closer.
Yeah, no question. And the weekend before, unfortunately, I had to start the weekend the conference play at Southeastern, who's really good. I mean, they're really, really good. So credit to them. But it's one of those where, again, had bases loaded in a couple different spots, just couldn't get a key hit where we needed it, right? It just, but played a little cleaner in the first 2 games. Just put ourselves in position, hit some home runs. I mean, if you go back and look at the totals from last year when we played them here, I mean, what an improvement against a team that is maybe better than they were last year. I mean, that's a team, that Southeastern team had Texas A&M and Florida State on the ropes earlier in the year. And so that's a very high-quality softball program, regardless of level.
I think they could have played with Oklahoma, too. I'm not saying they beat them, but they certainly
they can play with the best in the country. And, again, we held our own in that game, too. And, again, so anytime you have to open conference play on the road against that quality of opponent, you are curious to know, okay, we didn't have a midweek game last week. What is the response going to be back home, against a team that we felt like we matched up really well with against? And, what are we going to get? And, again, credit to the girls and the coaching staff for putting ourselves in a position to really, kind of hit that expectation for where we wanted to be. And so just a great weekend all the way around. So looking to see if we can continue to carry that through.
Yeah. And they're gobbed up in 4 teams, I think. They're tied for 5th or 6th right now in the conference.
Yeah, there's a bunch sitting at 3-3 right now.
It's nice when you don't have to look quite so far down the list to find us. All right, so those games at Lamar, one on Friday, 2 on Saturday, I think.
I know there's I think they're going 2 tomorrow because I think there's an early start tomorrow.
2 Friday.
2 Friday, I think they start.
Yeah, you're
at 1.
right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
So 2 Friday
early.
and 1 Saturday.
Yep.
And then next week when we will have Northwestern.
Yeah, we're coming back home, and actually we're going to be home 3 weekends in a row.
Yeah.
And so looking forward to getting folks out here. Last 3 home weekends of the year for all sports.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Yeah, think about that.
Man.
We have a midweek home game late in the month against Grand Canyon, actually, really quality opponent.
Yes.
But in terms of weekend home events, the next 3 weeks after this weekend is it for the year. Believe it or not.
How can that be?
And then one of that also includes
How can that be? Aren't we starting
weekend.
basketball next week?
Yeah, right. So
Man.
we've got and again we've got volleyball and soccer doing some of their spring exhibition matches. But in terms of regular season play, we'll be at Lamar and then 3 home weekends in a row, and then we finish up on the road.
Wow.
So it's coming.
All right. Well, here's something else that's coming. It's the finish of all of this reclass work that has been ongoing for almost 3 full years now.
Yeah.
But the express lane, which would have us done in 3 years, is where we are right now. And y'all got your first report card, didn't you?
Yeah,
we
did. Yeah,
how did that
really
go?
Good. It was really good. So we talked about how now that with this new timeline, the self-study report would be due not in May, but now in March. We submitted that last week. And so got that in, and I told you it was probably going to be somewhere between 300 and 400 pages.
Yeah.
Ended up being 318, and then with all the supplemental documents that we had to include as part of it, I don't know how many pages were in those documents, but it was, I think, 109 documents on top of the 318-page document. So, and again, I think credit to just everybody across the university because it took everybody across the university to get that done.
Yeah, this didn't just happen in athletics.
Happen over here. Yeah, it just didn't happen over here in the field house. It was everybody. And so just an incredible team effort across the university. And then so we get that in, and then this week we just wrapped up. I took them to the airport yesterday, actually. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we had our site visit. And so 3 folks from the peer review team, one a president, one a former AD, and then one a senior level deputy administrator, all from Division I campuses. And, man, we had a great visit. And so basically what they do is they assess the self-study. They meet with numerous folks across campus. So everybody from, head coaches and student athletes to the faculty athletics rep and the admissions staff and the financial aid staff and the registrar's office and, oh, my gosh, you name it. All our subcommittee chairs for the steering committee, the president, they meet with all these folks to go through this study and really validate what we've put on paper, and then also identify if there's any deficiencies and also identify areas for improvement. And the good thing for us is coming out of that peer review visit that just ended yesterday, there were no findings of deficiencies, nothing that we've got to address in order to continue to move in the process. They identified a couple different things that were just suggestions, is how they characterized it, or recommendations, but nothing that we have to formally respond to, nothing that we even have to implement if we choose not to. But they are really good suggestions too. So honestly, it could not have gone better, is what I would say.
It
was great. It was great. It was a great visit. And I think not only just in terms of really validating the work that's been done. And again, as I said to a few folks, I said this didn't just happen over the last 2 months. This is all the work that's been done over the last 3 years to get to this point. And so I think that's a really important point just in terms of, all this work that goes into it. And, you hope it's tracking the right way, and you've got a lot of people you're bringing along in the process, and you got everybody on campus in it, and you just hope it's kind of going the right way, and you feel like it is, right? You think you're tracking the right way, and then to go through a visit like that and get the response we did was just so it was just great. I mean, everybody involved at the university should be really proud of the effort and the work that's been done. And again, that was validated through the process that we went through. And so at the same time, too, we talked about another component, which is the academic data review, which is a new component of the process that they added in January for schools that were trying to expedite, like we are.
Yeah. Oh, here's a little more to do.
Yeah, here's a little more to do if you didn't have enough. And so actually there's 2 phases to that, and we actually got successful completion of the first phase. We got notice of that on Tuesday, actually, while the peer review team was here. And so then we move into phase 2, the phase 2 part of that part. And that's a desk review on what we're doing from an academics perspective. And so, again, we still have a little bit more work to do, but I would say that the big lift is over, and it came out very favorable. And so we're just going to continue to try to bring this plane in for a landing.
So what's left? I mean, this is the 20th of March?
It's the 20th of March.
And you have to have all your homework turned in by?
June 1.
June 1.
Yep. And
that
so
doesn't
that includes,
leave a whole lot.
There's not a lot.
2 months and whatever's left of March.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got to go through the rest of the data review process, so that phase 2 portion. There's only 2 phases to it. Again, successful completion of phase 1, now going into phase 2. And then we also have to, every year we've had to submit basically an updated, they call it a strategic plan, but it's really an operational update from year to year. And so we've got some things that we specifically have to address in that process that are prescribed for all schools. And so we'll have to provide that updated formal operational plan that's due June 1. We'll have to report all of our scholarship figures and competition schedules to make sure we meet all the minimum sports sponsorship requirements and D1 requirements, which we know we do, but you have to formally report that. So you can't do that until the end of the academic year, of course. And then we have to make sure that we've got a good substantive response for all these new NCAA core guarantees that were new legislation that went into effect this past year. That we're doing. We just have to put it all on paper, and then and then we send all that off. The committee that oversees the reclass process meets in June. It's about mid-June, and so they will make the formal recommendation to the board of the Division I Board of Directors for their consideration later this summer, and that's it. But it is fair to say that the heavy lift portion of it is complete.
That's astounding.
And it came out really, really good. Probably
good for y'all.
Honestly, better.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. No, congrats to the university. It is, like I said, it takes everybody in this, and I think that group they were really impressed with what was going on here.
And so, and let's remember that this opportunity to get this done in 3 instead of 4 came along at what time of this year?
January.
Right.
2 months ago.
Dude.
Yeah, we found out about it January 15. And actually, that's when the vote was taken, but we actually didn't have the details until 2 weeks later, basically into February. So, like, when we talk about this really being like a 6-week runway to do a year and a half's worth of work, like literally that's accurate. I mean, that's what happened.
Boy.
Yeah. So, but again, that's why it takes the full team, and it's not just one person or a few folks. It takes everybody, and actually the credit to the peer review team for calling that out when they reported out at the very end of the visit on day 3. They called out the collaborative team environment that we've got across the university. And so we get to work every day with great folks across the university, and it, but for other people to see it as well and to call it out, because it's unique. It doesn't happen everywhere.
No, it does not.
So I'm just so grateful, and I'm so happy that our people here who work day to day got to hear that as well from their peers. It's a peer review team. And keep in mind, 2 of the people that were on this, one of them was the AD when their institution transitioned from D2 to D1, so they've been part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the president was at a school that transitioned from FCS to FBS, so he's been through a transition. And it's funny because we were talking about those first couple of years when they were in FBS, and they were taking some lumps and taking some beatings, and everybody's asking, "Oh, why'd you go up to FBS from FCS?" Right? And all this other stuff. And 4 years later, they're on College game day and going to their first bowl, and
where's that guy? I want to call him back. That's why.
So yeah, it was great though. So that's what I really appreciated. The team is that the team that they brought from the peer review team is that not only are they great practitioners, on Division I institutions, but they've been through it.
Yes.
And so they've been in that.
It's not strictly an academic exercise for them.
No,
they have practical experience with
no
it.
doubt. No doubt. So
Well,
we'll keep running. We'll see if we can bring this plane in for a landing. But we're on approach. Let's put it that way.
All right,
We're on
man.
approach.
Well, we're cheering from the arrival lounge. All right. Hey, we've gone way over today, but there was so much to catch up on. Thanks for giving us a little bit of extra of your time. And celebrate. We got Texas, Bold Gold Texas Lager. Just don't have too many of them because we don't want you to have to see this sponsor in a bad kind of way. Hey, everybody, thanks again. Lions up. We'll see you next week with more of Inside Lion Athletics.